We are crossing the Nerdverse, bringing you yet another episode. My name is Travis. I'm joined, as always, by my fantastic co hosts, Eric and James. We are without Ryan this week as he is experiencing some pretty interesting technical difficulties with his setup. So hopefully he will be back on the show soon. Tonight's topic is going to be the use of AI in media, and it's going to be a pretty heavy opinion based episode. We're going to try and keep it as lighthearted as possible because we don't want to get too doom and gloom or serious or upset about anything. Um, so, with that, we'll start off with our roundtable news. I'm going to lead us off with all of the bad news. So, hopefully, Eric and James can give us some more lighthearted things. Some significant losses to the Nerdverse in the last couple of weeks. We had Hayden Panettiere die. Those of you may know her. She was the cheerleader on Heroes. She
Great
has
show.
passed away. Very good show. Season 1 and 2 were good. Season 3 got a little weird.
Underrated.
Um, Peter Cullen passed away. He is the voice of Optimus Prime, for those of you that don't know. So big loss to the Nerdverse there. He was
Also
also
did
the voice
Eeyore.
of Eeyore in the Disney Winnie the Pooh shows, which again is also one of my favorite Disney characters is Eeyore. We lost Tim Curry, most famously known for, I believe, Rocky Horror Picture Show, I think would be his biggest, as far as well-known role.
I
Not
saw
my
I saw I saw this post about him, and it was like known for the Congo.
No, I forgot he was in that. I forgot he was in that.
But then
like,
he wasn't that. He gets beat to death by a gorilla.
yeah. Well, it's like I constantly forget that Samuel L. Jackson is in the first Jurassic Park movie. But yeah, so Tim Curry's passed away. My favorite role from Tim Curry was still Cardinal Richelieu from the Disney Three Musketeers movie. Or the
Definitely
pirate
Rocky
from
Horror
Treasure
Picture Show.
Island. Muppet Treasure Island was also a dope Tim Curry appearance. He did so well because he acted the same as the Muppets. That's why he fit.
Also, It.
He was in the TV show It, yeah, the made for TV movie. So
all
big
around
losses
great
there.
guy.
Yeah, lots of good IPs that he's been a part of. But last one, and this is the one that hurt me the most, was Dolly Parton passed away this week. Big loss there as far as the music industry goes. She's been in more than a handful of movies and shows, done a lot of voiceover and narration in her career. But her biggest legacy, in my opinion, will always be her book foundation that has provided millions of books to young, avid readers across the nation. I'm really hoping that that foundation stays strong with her passing. I'm sure it will. I don't see why it would fail now, but yeah, so those are the bad news. Came in fours this go round. So who wants to hop on next for our news?
I will because I don't have a lot. My only big thing is if you haven't watched Lanterns yet, don't, and not because it's not good, but because like we talked about prior to the show, it is amazing, and you will be like me every day waiting for midnight to roll around so you can watch the next episode. Hands down, my absolute favorite superhero TV show yet. DC did a great job with the casting. I think they're going to work really well with Nathan Fillion also at some point as Guy Gardner. So I think that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, no, DC hit this one like amazing. I usually like DC shows anyways, but definitely that. And then the other thing is I would do the same thing with Ted Lasso. I started watching the new season.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Ted
quite
Lasso
as
is such
good.
a fun show.
It's so good. You can't go to bed mad if you watch it. So
Ted
watch
Lasso
it before you go to
season
bed.
1 might be like one of the top 5 best seasons of TV to ever air.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Like I'll be behind that 100%.
Yes.
Such a good. I
mean, I'll start it from a commercial.
Season 1 was amazing.
Yeah,
I'll start it from a commercial.
It just makes you feel good. Ted Lasso is one of those shows that you feel better after you watch it. I really, really do appreciate that show.
Yeah, that's all I got. Those two shows, great things.
Okay, so there's I got a lot of news actually. First, a little bit niche, but close to my heart. TFT new set just dropped. The Box Box Boot Camp started, which is like a big competition between a bunch of Like there's like different tiers, like casual, but it's for streamers or the community. There's like a community tier, but then there's like tiers for streamers of various levels. So it's always fun to watch that.
Are you shooting for, was it Emerald again? Was your highest or whatever?
Master, but no,
Master.
probably not this set. Even though it's a really good set so far. I mean, I played a lot in the PvE, but just don't have time to put that many games in. Let's see. Well, Gamescom was also Tuesday. Bunch of stuff was shown there. A bunch of stuff I'm pretty excited about. I didn't make a list, unfortunately. But Defiant was one of the things I was really interested in. 1661, which is going to be kind of relevant to later on, probably some of our conversations we have about AI. No Law looks great. Of course, we had the Final Fantasy trailer. Yeah, a lot of stuff to be excited about coming out of there. Pretty cool. Go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. And something that just happened today, and for some reason broke Twitch for a good chunk of time. Netflix GTA 6 extended trailer. It's 26 minutes of GTA 6. Pretty awesome. Like I don't know what happened. They dropped it and Twitch broke for like an hour. It was weird,
It's
but
just too much for Twitch to handle, or too much for
yeah,
Twitter
I guess
to
I don't
handle.
know. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I watched all 26 minutes of it. Pretty cool.
Awesome.
I'm kind of still upset with Rockstar, but I'll wait till it goes on sale and probably pick it up then. Personally,
That's usually what I do with all
yeah.
games now. Just being a baller on a budget.
Yeah, same.
I mean,
like I could wait.
Yeah.
A game's got to be really good for me to like get it right when it comes out nowadays. Like usually,
I mean,
Starfield, I did it, and I regretted it afterwards.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what a letdown.
But I mean, I do give games a shot. Like, but it's rare
Yeah, I
that I
don't.
get brand new.
I gotta
Yeah,
say, Star Wars
these days,
Zero
you gotta-
Company has launched with a lot of really positive reviews overall. So if you guys are
Yeah, but
into
see,
turn-based
it's
strategy,
launched. You gotta wait. You gotta wait at least a few days. These like after a game launches these days, because is it gonna be good or is it gonna be a buggy mess? Who knows? Who knows?
yeah, I mean, it's already
Cyberpunk,
got
we're looking at
close
you.
to 1,500 reviews. Is still sitting at mostly positive. I'll give it
I mean,
the
I will
benefit of
say,
the doubt for now.
like TFT, we're talking about that. They launched this new set with Unreal Engine and their own client, so it's no longer bundled with the League of Legends client. And though the set itself is good with the way it's balanced and team comps work, the engine is buggy as hell, and most of the time it's not a problem, but it is kind of annoying still. Like, I mean, you get like first place and then you go to the next screen, you're like, oh, I got second apparently, but no, you got first. It's just like buggy visual things all over the place. So yeah, you never know what's gonna happen. These little indie studios like Riot.
They're doing great, man. Like all the indie studios, I'm really liking the games they do. Like, is it Jump Ship or Jump Space? I can never remember
Jump
the
Space.
name. Yeah, that looks really great, and they keep doing
It is great.
updates and
I love
stuff like that for like free, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So like, I'm loving indie studios. I really think we're gonna see a big change with console stuff, just because all these indie studios like just pumping out really good games for respectable prices. Like No Man's Sky's done like 10 DLC. Nobody's paid anything for any of it. You bought the original game and that was it. Like,
I've been hoping for a new Tom Clancy game of some kind. Really, I was hoping for a Splinter Cell, but they're dropping Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Tactics, which is like a top-down, tactics game, turn-based strategy.
Yeah, XCOM style.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
so a little bit
bad.
disappointed there, but I'll still
those
play
games
it.
Can be fun. I do miss Splinter Cell. Like, I'm very ready for another Splinter Cell game.
It's time.
Very ready for another Ghost Recon game, but I have a feeling I'm gonna have to with as rough a start as Breakpoint had. I'm afraid that IP may be dead.
That's my news.
I mean, that's
one more piece that I found out. Eric, what was your source for that You said Witcher 3 is getting an additional expansion?
I think it was at
Gamescom?
Gamescom? So yeah, Witcher 3 is getting a new expansion, which I'm hyped about because Witcher 3 is probably my favorite fantasy game, period.
Bar none, huh?
It's not even close. Like my favorite shooter game is still Red Dead Redemption 2 because I consider that a shooter game.
Oh, Alien Fireteam Elite 2. It's getting a sequel.
That was a great game. If you never played
The
it,
first
I got
one
it
was
for
fun.
free.
Yeah.
James Ryan
That
and I
game was
actually all
awesome.
played that together for a little while when it was free on Steam.
I got it for free through, I think, my PlayStation subscription, and me and actually played it with my oldest daughter. Probably not a good thing, but you know, kids are kids. They got to know how to fight aliens.
Yeah, you gotta know how to take out a xenomorph.
Yeah.
Oh, Stage Tour too. I don't know if y'all saw that. If y'all watched Gamescom, but Stage Tour is like it's like peripherals and everything. It's fucking Guitar Hero or like a Rock Band.
Oh,
It's just interesting to see something like that coming back. Yeah, so there's like a drum set, a guitar, all of that.
Yes.
Probably one of the best like straight up party games
days.
was the Guitar Hero and Rock Band.
Really Rock Band for sure
I'll
was.
be curious to see how that goes. I like those games, so
I don't mind Guitar Hero, but Rock Band was great. Dude, Rock Band, you had the drums, the bass, the guitar, and the lead singer.
I still enjoyed I liked more of the music that was in Guitar Hero than I did.
Oh yeah, Rock Band was very limited with their list of what they had available for music. So, yeah, that kind of was the downside for Rock Band. I just like the fact that you could get all the instruments. At the time, I was a younger gentleman, so I might have partook in some beverages. But yeah, so we would all do that and then play the game. And by the end of the night, you know, there'd be a shirtless lead singer. You know, there'd be someone wearing a tie around their forehead. There'd be, you know, all the cliche things going on. So very important stuff.
Cliches are cliches for a reason.
Yeah,
that's
very important.
That's
like
the reason they become cliches is.
Whenever I dress up like an '80s musician for Halloween, I always have to put the sock in the pants with the spandex.
The next gross. The next season of a TV show I'm really looking forward to is the Chaotic Good Barbarian on YouTube. If you haven't watched that yet, go watch it now. It's super funny. But I digress. Let's get started. It's time to jump in. We are going to be talking about AI and its use in media. And this was Eric's idea, so I'm going to let you jump off for it on it, man.
Yeah, so my big thing in the beginning with this was just so AI takes a brutal beating, I find, in the Nerdverse compared to anywhere else. Just because we're such a diverse group, like we have a lot of people that do the media, we have a lot of people that do the writing. We have such a big thing. So I really wanted to talk about this to kind of highlight not just the bad things that are going to come out of AI, but some of the good things that came out of it for a creative perspective, not just like running a business or developing a website or something like that, but some of the creative things that it can help you with while not taking someone's job in a sense. So that's kind of why I picked the topic to kind of get it going and see. But a big thing we got to start with is what do you guys think the initial reaction was like overall? I know I just gave my opinion. It wasn't great in that long splur I just had of everything with AI. But what did you guys think? We'll start with you, Travis. Like, just what did you think the reaction was in the Nerdverse? Like, some of the good, some of the bad, stuff like that.
I mean, it had lots of potential, especially so I am not an artist by any stretch of imagination. If I could take the camera and show you, we did a paint night one night with a family where everybody drew a particular farm animal and drew it, and everybody's farm animal looks like the animal they drew, except for mine. Mine looks like a chest burster from Aliens. It's supposed to be a llama. Does not look anything like that. It looks like an alien. The only thing I drew correctly from that picture was its teeth. So it helps me because when I'm doing character portraits for like my Pathfinder game, I like to design, like type in prompts to get cool weapon designs or armor designs or character designs, right? Um, and that's really to me like no real harm, right? I'm not stealing anybody's job because I'm using it for me because I can't draw my own picture, but or come even close. As far as the overall media goes, it's such a mixed review, right? You have some people that are really excited for AI and its use and integration and how much easier it's going to make things, and then you have people that are avidly against it, right? That are, it's taking over art, it's taking over media and short form content, different things like that. So I'm kind of in the middle on it. I think AI can be a very useful and important tool if we leverage it the correct direction. I also think it can be extremely devastating, especially when it comes to like small time artists. I think can be severely impacted by it.
Yeah, and that's my thing. That's why I wanted to like see what people's take was, because a lot of people, um, they don't have that positive take. I find like you did in regards to like not taking anybody's job or anything like that, because you're using the images on AI for yourself, and
It
you're not doing anything excessive with it. You know what I mean?
well, and even in like applications for like work applications, AI can be extremely useful for compiling tons of data into very digestible chunks, right? I won't lie, I've used AI more than once to do fault current calculations. So for those of you that do any type of electrical work, you'll know what I'm talking about. The rest of you, you don't need to know this. It's just the amount of current fluctuation that runs through electrical equipment. It's called fault current. So I'm not great at math, and those are really big numbers. I use AI.
All right, James, let's go. What's your take?
Well, okay. So for me, I'm somebody who I use AI nearly every day for my job. I do a lot of code development. I do a lot of like looking at older legacy code bases, and I have to figure out what's going on with what other people wrote who didn't do such a good job of like commenting things or figuring out coding in a language that I'm not familiar with. I got to figure out syntax of what it's doing so I can translate it. Right. So I use coding. I use AI every day for coding. That's not going to change. That's not going anywhere. Um, that's here to stay. Right. Regardless. But as far as like generative use, I think that for one, I think that the general outlook has been very, very negative, right? Like the Nerdverse has been largely opposed to it in some of the most minuscule ways. And I'm like with Travis, I'm not a good artist, and I don't have infinite money just to buy a hire an artist every time I have a character when I play Pathfinder or whatever,
Yeah,
right? Like,
not with as often as you rebuild.
yeah, right. So, I use it also for generating like a character portraits. Um, I don't know necessarily. That's pretty much about the only thing I use it for as far as like generating images. But there's like useful things for an individual to use. Now, I also have a big problem if people are trying to use that and then make money off of it. Like that's disgusting in my
Yes.
opinion.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, it's because you didn't do anything.
there
Someone
also
else did all the
is
work, and you're trying to market it. It's just weird.
there also is some definitely some uses that I think nobody is arguing about that are good, like some accessibility tools, um, like real-time transcription for people who need to read what's going on in a game or on a screen or something like that. AI is very good at that. Also makes it much cheaper for the studio to implement. Um, Things like that. So, you know, I think that it does overall kind of get a bad rap, and a lot of places have used it negatively. Uh, but I think that there's a place for it. I think that there is a place for it in the nerdverse, and I definitely think there's a place for it in the tech world. Like obviously, like I said, I use it every day, and that's not going anywhere.
My thing is in regards to like the nerdverse. One thing I like to do, because I've been even on here I've talked about it. I enjoy AI. A big thing I do is a soundboard when coming up with ideas for like episodes and different things for the shows. I like to use. I mean, it's no different than using Google before this. Like, what are the hot topics right now in the Nerdverse? Or like, what's going on in video game world? Instead of using Google or something, I just use AI. So, and the nice thing is AI is responsive to me. It comes back. We talk back. Basically, it's like having a person. So I just talk back and forth, soundboard it off, and get ideas. The thing that I don't understand why people keep saying it's going to take jobs in regards to like any sort of writing or anything like that. Like you can tell when stuff's written with AI doesn't have the same passion or anything like a human would put into it, I find. So you can definitely tell like short form I would get it, like a description for items or maybe writing a short story for D&D because it doesn't have to have a lot of that emotion or anything into it. It just needs to give you ideas and stats and things like that. So maybe it does that. But like full on novels, storylines for movies, video games, I don't think it's going to have the biggest impact because I haven't heard. Like I know Travis, you mentioned before with WWE might be using it, and like other people have mentioned that they might be using AI, and like it every time it gets brought up, it's not working well. Like they said, like one hockey team, Toronto Maple Leafs, might have used AI last year when dealing with trades during I don't know why I can't think of the name, but the trade deadline. There we go. Why I can't remember that. So like, and that worked horribly because they didn't make any good trades. So every time anybody brings up like AI taking someone's job or doing something like story writing and things like it's not working out. And it's crazy to me.
It, it, my counterpoint to that is going to be like we've already seen writers being let go from WWE in this regard. So whether or not AI is generating any good content for it, I can tell some storylines in WWE have probably just been phoned in. I think those are the ones that they're using the AI for, and it's terrible. But that still doesn't change the fact that there's fewer writers than there were before, and that may just be TKO trying to make WWE as slim as possible. Who knows? It's hard to tell in that regard whether or not the big corporate overlord is saying we need to increase profits and decrease costs, so just let people go, or if they're legitimately replacing people with AI. One position that is going to be severely impacted by it is low level or entry level graphics design. So that industry is going to take a hit.
I think it will initially, but eventually people and companies will see you can't get better people doing it if there's no entry level into it. So you'll really lose your experienced people. Like you'll lose getting people that are experienced and build up inside the company. So that's the only reason I think.
But there's
there'll be fewer of them.
There's not going to be anybody to replace those people because there's not going to be anybody in graphics design, right? If AI takes a big hit to it and those jobs disappear, people stop training for it. They stop going into it, right? Eventually that pool is just going to dry up. Those skills are going to go away and you're going to be left with a retiring group of people that have nobody that can replace them.
Yeah, and I think
eliminated entry level positions. So it's going to hurt the entire industry, both short term and long term.
But I think people have learned from the trades, though. Like when you look at the trades, like the way that we have nobody that wants to be a plumber anymore or anything like that, even though they make six figures, it's not like it's a bad job. So I really think the tech world is going to, part of them will learn. Now, I'm not saying no jobs will be lost, everybody. I'm not saying AI isn't going to take some of your jobs. It's going to happen. But what I'm saying is I don't see it being as huge of an impact on certain things just because, especially like the graphics design, things of that nature, because you're going to want people at some point to do the higher level things just to check everything. Because as good as AI is, it isn't perfect with everything yet. That's why it's not just coding and pumping out games left and right, because you still need the human component to it. So I agree 100%. We're going to see job markets get hit with it. It might be 30, it might be 40%, but I can't see it being as big as people make it out to be, because then you have such a big gap in generations where people don't have the basics and you're expecting them to be here. So, I don't know. Could be wrong.
I think that you're both kind of right. I think that there's going to be probably like a little pendulum swinging until there's kind of a balance made. but for one, I think a lot of companies are going to fire a bunch of people and eliminate a bunch of entry level jobs, especially, and then they're going to turn around and find out that they can't do that, right? That they're missing the people that do those jobs. Still, I do think that AI is going to always be, especially now, like it's out of the box, right? Like can't put it back in, but so it's going to be a force multiplier for everybody, right? Like instead of needing 10 people to do a job, you maybe only need one now. But I think also the entry level jobs themselves aren't going to go away. They're just going to change. And that's like, I mean, that's happened every time we have like industrial revolutions, like those jobs didn't go away, you know, they just changed. And it's going to essentially, eventually, not essentially, eventually kind of, I think, be the same thing where we find a balance. And now instead of, you know, directly, I don't know, like for graphic design, I guess I'm not, that's not my space. I don't know that much about it, but maybe, you know, instead of being everybody's just doing their own designs, maybe you have one person and they're working with a bunch of AI, and that it's part of the job now is learning how to use those AI, right, for graphic design, in order to enhance what you're doing rather than just trying to pump out a bunch of I mean, honestly, like slop, right? Because a lot of AI stuff is pretty bad. Uh, Not to say that it won't be better in the future, because like it's probably as bad as it's ever going to be right now, right? What's up, Eric?
Uh, yeah, I would agree with what you said. There's always going to be, and it'll change a little bit. I think a lot more people will get probably like paired up with AI and stuff like that as entry level and kind of build together. The only people I see really getting hurt, and this is why I think the Nerdverse is so mad about it, is like I had mentioned, the people that write those storylines for like campaign settings for like Pathfinder, or not campaign setting, adventures. Sorry, campaign settings are way too big. But people that write those little adventures and try to sell them for like 10, $20 on websites and stuff like that. Or like the people that do the character drawings and things like that. They're obviously going to struggle because no offense to any of them, their talent is probably amazing. I actually do my own writing, so I don't need anybody to do my adventure stuff. But like the two of you with drawing, I'm not an expert, and it's a hobby I really don't have extra money to put into. So I'm just gonna AI up a character picture. So I don't need anything like that. And I mean, the only time I'm going to use people when it comes to that is if I want an actual 3D model or something like that of myself or my character. Then obviously I'll reach out and find somebody. But I think Fiverr, like that type of website, is going to take a big hit from stuff like this because you're not gonna see people wanting to pay what people want on even Fiverr for stuff anymore. So it's good and bad. Like I said, I love it. It's my soundboard. It's like my little buddy.
Yeah, I get it. Like I understand that. I'm gonna backtrack us and jump onto a topic we were talking about. You know, using AI to generate just mass produce things and then try to sell it off for a profit, and that being weird. I That drops into the exact same category for me as the people who print off, like, do the 3D printed crap
Yeah.
and then sell them at art fairs and stuff. I'm like, that's not art. Like, you downloaded a pattern from the internet and then maybe you did
Yeah,
some
unless you
scale touching and then set your 3D printer off to generate 400 of these things so you could sell them for $5 a piece.
unless you're the one that made that model, like
Yeah, I just the amount of 3D print, and like it's invaded cons too, because like
oh yeah,
the last couple of like conventions and stuff I've
reticulating dragons, a
yeah.
billion of them on every table.
Oh, I know, and I'm like, why? And then people gobbling them up too. Like, why? Like, why? The 20 to like $50 for some of these things, and I was like, that's $2 worth of filament off Amazon that somebody 3D printed a pattern they found on the internet. Like, come on now.
Yeah, no, there's always going to be, which is the surprising thing for me, like you, Travis. There's always going to be basically borrowing in the media world. If you look at it, like there's a lot of people at mom and pops or like any of those little, I don't know, fairs and stuff like that. They always sell images they're not allowed to, but nobody's going to do anything. Like everyone's always got like Disney characters on cups or T-shirts they just printed in their house. Um, Pretty sure that's not okay, but we do it, and like Disney doesn't care. Why? Because it's a small time thing, and it
Disney
actually
cares,
helps
they
get
just
their
haven't
things
caught
out.
these people yet.
Well, it's on a
Yeah,
small
Disney
scale too,
does
so
care.
it,
It
Yeah.
doesn't
realistically, it's
matter
just getting
if
their brand out better.
I promise
Go
you, it
ahead.
doesn't matter how small the scale is. If Disney gets a whiff of this, they will send a cease and desist letter. Does not. I know because I have friends who do art for when they go to cons and sell the art that they make, and they have gotten a cease and desist letter for just like some random thing that was vaguely like I think one person had like a Simpsons like character, like a Spider Pig
Oh
or something
wow.
like that, and got a cease and desist
Yeah.
for that. So
Yeah.
they will not hesitate at all.
Disney and Nintendo really on top of their cease and desist letters. Like they're very ready to go.
But that's what I mean. Like it's already been going on. Like a lot of the stuff
Oh
people have
yeah,
complaints about in regards to AI has already been happening. It's just easier for it to happen now. So
and
I understand
yeah,
some of it, but I don't.
there are people who are out there mass producing novels using AI, writing 7 novels a year and selling them on Amazon or at cons or whatever. But they're garbage, right? Like you might get somebody to buy something, but they're going to read it and they're going to be like, "This is kind of trash. I'm not going to buy any more of these, or I'm not going to buy the next one in the series or whatever." You know.
Yeah.
Uh, so I don't know. Maybe they're making money enough to keep doing it, but I don't think that that's like a sustainable business model.
No, it's also just like what a waste of like AI power. But again, that's like what that's like cheating at a video game and then talking about how good you are. Like you did nothing. You typed in a prompt and then something else did all of the work and you just slapped your name on it. Like yeah. I have no respect for that level of stuff. It's like when high level players in video games get caught cheating. And I'm like, why? Like,
I love the fact that Fortnite has banned people for life, and like other games are starting to do it too. Like ban them,
Hmm.
get
yeah.
them gone.
I mean, it's one thing if you're like whatever you in like just a general lobby and you cheat, whatever, cool. You won a match against me. Hooray! This may come as a shock to
I
you. Was
care.
never going to be the best player in this lobby anyway. Like it's when it gets to like when it's low stakes. I'm like, whatever. You cheated. That's a dick move, but whatever. When you get to the like real high level play, is where I'm like, you cheated, and that's awful. Like because other people are out there using real skill, and you're taking a shortcut to the front, and I don't respect that.
No.
But
But
there is to get back to AI, uh, especially for something in the nerdverse. And this is something I just learned, but they're actually running AI to find bugs in video games now, and that's a fantastic idea. They're giving AI basically control over a character or a model inside the game, and it runs around, makes unpredictable and like odd movements to test whether or not there's clipping issues, to test whether or not there's bugs, because nobody's going to move as chaotic through a map as a player will. And I can testify to that because straight lines are for chumps.
yep.
Like I'm zigzagging and dodge rolling and jumping and doing whatever. Um, and so having AI run through games to test for bugs, clipping issues, things like that, I think is a really fantastic application because it can run 24 hours a day while simultaneously providing feedback. And I think that's a really good use for AI because that cuts down on time. So those artists are still the one putting in code, they're still the one rendering and drawing everything, but AI's taking control of a character and running through the map to see if there's issues. And I think that's a perfectly fine use of AI in the gaming industry.
Yeah, I
What
don't.
about
Oh,
I
go
think
ahead.
what so like a lot of companies like for example Sandpoint, Claire Obscura,
Mhm.
they used AI for like a placeholder for some like art stuff, yeah, in the beginning, like pre-production, I believe. Um, it seems like, I mean, some people were upset by that even, but it seems to be mostly, you know, uh, at least blown over. People love that game. It is a beloved game. It won Game of the Year.
It's a good
Uh,
game.
it is a very good game, and I don't have any problem. Especially like as a placeholder. Like as long as you're not sending some kind of poor AI to production, like maybe Wizards might have done. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe allegedly, but like I think some people still have problems with that, but I don't know. I think that's a fine use of it. What do you guys think?
I'm going to agree with you, and I'm actually going to take it a little bit of a step further. If you look, Steam actually has a lot of rules with that, and it's very interesting because if you use AI and you want your game on Steam, you actually have to um, go by their rules. And if you have too much AI, you have to put in there that like your game would like was created using AI. And I've never looked to see if Claire Obscure is on there because again, they just use it as placeholder, so it wasn't in the final product. So I don't know if Steam made them put anything. I'll have to take a look in a minute, but I agree. Like if it's placeholders and stuff like that, so they can keep making the game because maybe the artist was sick for a month while they're making the game and they can't put the art in. Absolutely, man. Put in a generated photo. Like as long as you make sure to go through and let the artist put their real work in, kind of when it's done. That's much better um, than just having like a blank screen there, something like a blank piece. Like maybe you really need to see the detail of like a room in a castle or something, and like your person's not there to generate everything for you. So you're like, I'll just AI it real quick, and now the storyteller gets a better idea and stuff. So I'm okay
I,
with all that.
yeah, I'm fine with the placeholder. I'm also fine with Steam making people put a label that the AI was used to generate a game, because at the end of the day, a good game's a good game, right? AI is one of those things, and I will liken it to what I do professionally, which is I quote commercial switchgear, right? If I get bad information, if bad information comes into me, bad information comes out. That's what I always tell people: garbage in, garbage out. It's the same thing with AI. If you're putting in garbage, you're getting out garbage. Or if you're putting in something too vague, it's going to spit out garbage back at you. You kind of have to know how to work the AI to get a good result out of it. So as far as Steam making people put a label that their game was AI generated, I think that's perfectly fine. That gives players the choice to go, I won't play an AI assisted game. Fine, that's your choice, right? It's your money. You should spend it how you want, right? Your wallet matters. So if that AI tag is a big difference maker to you and you're not going to buy that game, that's great. If it doesn't matter to you and you just want to buy the game anyway, it's also great. I'm big on letting people have the open choice to choose. Now, I will not support any companies that are like, no, we don't use AI when they're clearly doing it. Not going to name any names, as mentioned earlier. So yeah, like just don't lie about it. If you used AI to generate stuff in your game, I don't care as long as you have made a good game that I enjoy playing. Um, if your game is crap, I'm gonna leave a crap review. What's up, James?
I think I think that's like my line is like, yeah. Did you use first of all? Did you let me know that you used AI?
Right.
Like, because I don't ultimately I don't actually have that strong of a feeling towards it either. But then it's like, also, did you use AI because you couldn't do something? Like, were you a one person development team and you used AI to do the things that you can't do, that you don't know how to do yet, or that uh, to do things that, like I said, that you couldn't otherwise get done in a timely or reasonable manner, right? Or are you Ubisoft? Like, why the fuck are you using AI pretty much at all, other than maybe like pre-production stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
or
But they
some
can't make a
other
good game to
AAA
begin with
studio.
anyway.
Yeah, I know, right?
They're
The
struggling to make good
quadruple A,
games right now.
the
Yeah.
next quadruple A game. I can't wait.
Yeah. Like if you're already if you're a major studio and you're struggle busing to make quality games on release, AI is not fixing that for you. Like that's not
But
going to
on
be the
both
difference
notes,
maker.
like on both notes, are they going to tell me that they use AI? Because if they didn't, I'm going to have a very big problem with that if it comes out that they did use it, right?
I think
Yeah,
Steam, I was just
100%.
reading like Steam, if it's internal stuff, like you were talking about with testing the game, it seems like then they don't have to label the game as using AI. It's only if it's like characters talking, interaction, things like that, or like if you have AI generating answers, I guess, for characters. Anyways, there's a survey thing that you have to do if you're a game designer and want to release on Steam, and then at the end of that, they yes or no, they put the sticker on your game. So if you want to use AI, let Steam know. The big thing, did you guys hear that thing with Saber? I actually found that very interesting. So Saber fired one of their lead writers. The lead writer claimed it was due to AI, and then Saber's CEO said no, it wasn't. But if you like listen to his interview, it was really interesting because he did bring up using AI though, and say that they were using AI, just not for the main story. I think was how he said it. I found that to be really interesting. Um, I don't know what your guys' take on. I know you probably have to look it up and stuff like that, but I think it's interesting. Someone feels like they got fired for AI, but then the company says no, it was poor performance and is now using AI. Like, it's weird.
Yeah,
Hadn't
again, I
seen
mean,
that
I think
particular news article, so I'm not going to comment. But I mean, if they fired this guy just so they could replace him with AI,
It's a lady. Sorry.
sorry, if they fired this lady just to replace them with AI, that's cheap, lazy, and ridiculous. You know, but, you know, if that's the case, I'm not going to support them just being like, as a cool cost saving measure, we fired people and are now just having our interns frantically type in prompts to AI until we get something usable.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. You know, like and like Sky the Slayer here said on our YouTube. You know, like Gen AI, I think it really is becoming a cheap excuse for companies to not hire talented workers, or in this case, fire somebody, if that's what happened. Uh, and I'm concerned that actually is going to get worse, also, especially with larger companies, because again, I think like with an indie like a one person development team, like well, who are they gonna like? Maybe they're just making it in their basement or whatever, you know, on their free time. Whatever, I don't care what you do. Uh, People will buy your game or not, right? That's up to them.
Yeah.
But with like major studios who are controlling really the industry, right? Are they just not hiring people, or are they firing people to use AI in their place? That's pretty concerning, especially when gaming is pretty much doing like, better than it ever has in the history of the industry, right? So
Yeah, we're definitely at a big, in all seriousness, we're at a very big high point. Like we're at a pretty big peak, and I think we're going to plateau before we see another fall. Um, and then again, after that's going to be another big peak. The gaming industry is actually doing very well right now as far as the amount of stuff coming out, the amount of developers, and the amount of small time and indie developers are at an all time high. It's so there's such a saturation in the market of any type of game you could possibly want to play. There's several different versions of those, you know, those games in every genre, whether it's extraction shooters, you know, real-time strategy, battle simulators, flight simulators are insane right now, with the level of detail and stuff that goes in them. So yeah, it's definitely a big high point for the gaming industry. I would not like to see AI used to replace, you know, that care and touch that goes into some of these games from the human side. Definitely not wanting generative AI to just be the cheap like Timu version of games we used to be getting.
This is where they've talked about taxing in regards to using AI. I think it would be a great thing if your company decreases personnel by such a percentage or only like uses AI for such a percentage. This is a great time to start looking at different things like that with businesses, forcing them to keep people around. And that's things we need to look at. Like people need to stop trying to say get rid of AI. We have to come up with solutions as a nerdverse, let's say, because it's never going anywhere. You can whine, complain, you can say whatever you want. It's not. It's a great thing that has some downsides. So things we need to be looking at as like a nerdverse style community is things that we can do to keep people employed and keep things going on. make it so you have to stick labels on certain things that are AI. You can't go crazy with everything because I don't want to pay a bunch of money for a business logo. I'm going to either AI it or make it myself on Canva. But like when you start looking at other things like videos, movies, video games, things like that, you can easily stick a label on it. So we need to start looking at solutions and get away more of the saying to go away, because it's not.
No, AI is definitely here to stay, and I think regulation is an important first step in getting this metered. Going to touch on it briefly because I mean, you have to. The amount of data centers being built in the United States is absolutely insane. We already have more data centers than any other country on the planet. We don't need 500 more. A lot of companies are building them because right now it's the hot thing to make money off of. And between the water and power usage, the strain on infrastructure and stuff like that, I think regulation is really important, and it goes down to like permitting and stuff like that. A company can promise, oh, it's a closed loop system. It's not everything is foolproof. There's still going to be massive amounts of water usage even in a closed loop system and stuff like that. So I mean, I think regulation is important, especially in the development of like data centers that are going to be fueling these AIs. Go ahead, James.
I have some thoughts on this, but I think that there is definitely data centers have a purpose. Certainly, sometimes I think that we are getting more than we need. Again, because of this, it's a way to make a bunch of money right now for some people, right? But like there is a little bit of a scare going. So a lot of them are being canceled too, which is I think a good, because I don't think every neighborhood needs a fucking data center on the block. So I agree with that. But there's also like this scare of like they use so much water. But in the U.S. currently, data centers use about half as much water as all of our golf courses do. But nobody's complaining about golf courses and their
I
water
do.
usage.
I
mean, I do too.
I
I don't think we need here in Denver. There's a golf course every 3 feet.
There's
I swear
so
to God.
many.
Like, yeah,
There's
it
so many
is.
golf courses in Colorado. It's insane.
It is unnecessary. But like there's not like this big push, this anti-golf course, really, right? Like that's not really a thing that people talk about. But it's still that's a problem to me. And I'll say that like one or the other, both things can be bad. But I'm just like, I think things are being blown out of proportions in some ways, just because of how recent the thing is, right? And how much information is on the internet that currently, like, you can't tell what's true, what's not true, and it's just like a lot for people to kind of digest.
I think, and this is going to come from a kid who grew up in the desert in the agricultural community, right? Those are core situations for me, right? Water is a very precious resource. And in order to protect that resource, to one, have people to be able to drink clean, fresh water, which again goes without question. The next thing is it needs to be readily available for responsible agricultural use. A lot of these data centers are going in and are going to be draining millions to billions of gallons of water in some of the most drought impacted areas in the United States. And that makes no sense to me, right? That's one of the ones where I'm like, that's stupid. Like, what a dumb place. And I understand that the land is cheap, and there's a reason the land is cheap, right? But at the same time, that's in a place where water is already such a scarce and precious resource. We can't just be dropping someplace that's going to suck up a few million gallons. One, through the construction process, and two, from the startup process. Like, that's definitely a huge downside for the way some of these massive data centers are going. And I think, again, with regulations and permit pooling, I think we're on the right track to find a good balance to where we can build these data centers, we can use the technology, we can use it responsibly without being a huge drain on resources.
Well, I think what's really good
the other thing too is like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say one thing I'm liking. I was looking stuff up real quickly. You two were just talking. Like there is a lot of progress with regulations and stuff like that. And one thing I'm enjoying seeing is that a lot of places now are making it so companies have to pay for a lot of any sort of infrastructure updates and things like that. So I do think that's great. But this is a zoning thing, especially to me, is like you can only have data centers in certain areas. That would be a big thing for me. I agree that you can't have them every 10 feet. They shouldn't be like, there should be stricter things involved with it. And of course, the businesses making them should 100% be paying for infrastructure updates in the cities because the power draw, the water, everything like that. So there should be something going on with that. And it looks like there is. I saw like Pennsylvania's doing a thing now. They just passed in regards to that. So I feel like the nice thing with AI is that it's a problem that came up and it's so widespread. We're taking care of it a lot faster than we normally would. Like when you see the golf course thing, I know everyone's going to come at me for this. Anyone that watches this, anyways, um, it's like a rich person game. So like, no one's going to ever stop it. Unfortunately, with how much water and everything we use, like those golf courses have to be perfect for them. So unfortunately, I see that they could be draining the last lake somewhere, and we'd still have to deal with it. But it is nice to see with the data centers, though.
I think you're leaning more into like the country club uh, style of golf courses, and again, like Colorado's just lousy with them, and that's because of the climate there. You
Yeah,
can
it's always
you
sunny.
can go golf. Yeah, you can go golf way more often. New Mexico, on the other hand, does not have a ton of golf courses, and that's because it's usually so windy. You're not going to want to go golf anyway. On the days where the weather's nice enough, the wind is too high. So um, it's kind of one of those things where like, yeah, golf courses really aren't going to go anywhere. But I've seen a lot of golf courses actually in the DFW area being repurposed. So your municipal and like city golf courses are still doing very well, and a lot of these smaller time clubs are actually shutting down or changing tactics. A few of them have become practice and coaching ranges. One of them was donated to I want to say it was like the HEB school district. So all of the high school kids that want to be on the golf team, they have a course that they're dedicated to go play on. It's the school's course, and I'm okay with that because like let people play sports, let them have a good time, whatever. If golf is your hobby, but yeah, they don't need to be every 10 feet. Which I was again shocked when I visited James that we drove
It's
from
so
his
windy.
house to lunch and passed probably 4, and it was only like 10 blocks. So there is, and again, it's because the weather's nice in Colorado. Is what it really boils down to. Is you get a lot of use out of a golf course in Colorado.
All right, so end of the day, what are we saying? AI. So more of a tool, more of a threat. What are we thinking?
I think right now it's more of a threat, but I think that it will be more of a tool. Because like I said, I think that there's going to be this balance that we find eventually. So I think right now it is a threat. It is bad for a lot of creativity, a lot of jobs. But I think that we'll come out the other side, and it'll be a tool that we will continue to use until we get something better or destroy ourselves, whichever comes first.
Whichever. It's a race. Yeah, I'm kind of with James. I think short term, we're going to see some pretty negative impacts until that balance gets figured out. People are going to try and use it as a shortcut to get to the top. It's going to work for some. It's going to fail for more, right? And all that's going to do is bring into balance of where those ones that were successful are going to teach other people how they successfully used AI, and it's going to start widening the playing field more and more. And people are also going to be learning from the ones that used AI and failed spectacularly and avoid those mistakes. So right now, short term, yeah, I think we're going to see some negatives. We're going to see some job loss. My example being the graphic design. I think a lot, as of right now, early entry level graphics design positions are going to be threatened by AI. And eventually that pendulum's going to swing back towards the other direction. And we're going to come out the other side using AI more as a tool as opposed to a replacement.
AI is my best friend, so it doesn't. Neither way matters to me.
AI is your only friend at this point.
Well, it's my only friend that answers whenever I text, so that's what counts.
I like leaving you on red.
I've noticed, but it's. I do agree with both of you. Like with some of it, overall, I'm just going to stick with its tool because it's just another thing. If AI didn't do it, Google would do it. AOL used to do it. Like you could always get the stuff done. It's just faster now. So it does suck for some people. You're gonna lose some jobs and stuff. But
AI was always on the horizon when it came to computers. That was always really the next achievable thing.
yeah, Terminator.
Because you had your first computer process. I mean, even beyond like Terminator, without you being absolutely ridiculous with stuff. You know, the first
But I'm not being
supercomputers
ridiculous though.
but it was to generate intelligence, right? Like you built a machine to do advanced calculations quickly. AI
Yep.
is the eventuality of that train of thought. And so I think as soon as the first computer was built, AI was already on the horizon and on its way. It just happened to happen during our lifespan.
Lifetime. Yeah, we just made it more efficient. That's really what it was. So, anyways,
I think we should. I think we should go back to putting supercomputers back on the double reel tapes. I think.
Ooh,
I think actually we
take.
should just get rid of computers, technology in general. Go back to the Stone Age.
I'm down. I'm just kidding. I would not be down. I have terrible vision without my contacts, and I would starve so fast.
Like,
you know, what did you hunt today? And I was like, I chewed on a tree. Like, that was the only thing I could find. It was some tree bark.
I enjoy indoor plumbing way too much. Okay.
Big fan of showers. That's true. Yeah, that's nice too.
I've lived
modern
in the field.
medicine
I'm
also
good.
super helpful.
Yeah, no. So I don't know what we're doing next week because we got some schedule things going on. Just we'll try and figure it out, and I'll post something like I did this time. Just kind of let people know what we're gonna do. I know in 2 weeks we're doing wrestling. Travis has some buddies that's coming on.
Yeah, Scott and Chris will be joining me on the show. Hopefully Eric will as well.
Oh yeah,
just
I'll
as
be
a placeholder, so we can talk about life after pro wrestling. We're gonna be. I think James is gonna be out of the country.
Yeah, I'll be out for the next 2 weeks. Going to China for a couple for a little bit. So
enjoy your trip, man. Say hi to the fam when you get there.
Will do.
Any big plans on the list, or just visiting?
Hey, if you want to go, let me know, man. We'll figure it out. I'll get you there.
Yeah, I do like a tow truck.
I've always wanted to go China and Japan. I want to check them out. I'm not like one of those people that's against traveling to either of those places. I think they're great.
I'm trying to go to Scotland. I'm a big fan of it just raining randomly throughout the day. So Scotland's big high on my list.
Just go to Washington. I was at Seattle for a while. It does it whenever it wants there.
But I like the beer more in
Europe
than I do in
the United States.
I don't know, man. Seattle's got a lot of like microbreweries, you know. So.
But everybody's making IPAs now.
And all right, we gotta go, folks. We're trailing off here. Anyways, yeah, we don't know what we're doing next week for sure yet. We'll post something. Thanks everybody for. I've been posting shorts and things like that. People are kind of checking them out, watching them, so that's been really nice. Remember, our episodes move, so now they get posted on Wednesdays on Spotify instead of Mondays. Makes it easier
thank
on
you
me.
To Scotty for dropping a comment on the show. We appreciate it.
Scotty the Slayer. I like the name. That's a nice name.
I'm trying to figure out what his little picture is.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance yet. Other than that, yeah, I think that's it. Goodbye.
All right, with that, we're going to bring this episode to a close. Don't forget to like, follow, share, subscribe, all those fun little algorithm things. And we will catch you next time. Thanks for joining us. It's nice to say goodbye.